Fiancée threatened to end our engagement because I sent half my salary to my parents and demanded I choose between them and her. So, I chose my parents and ended the engagement and cut her off. I, 33M, have always helped my parents financially. It's my way of giving back for everything they sacrificed to get me through college and life in general. I send them half my salary every month. Yes, half. And although it's not easy, I'm proud of it. My father has health issues, my mother no longer works, and I've done well enough in my career to support them. Typically, the arrangement never caused any friction until I got engaged. My fiancée initially found it sweet that I cared so much for my family. But once we started talking about our married life, she began grumbling about finances. She'd say, "Half your salary is too much. We need that for our future home." I'd calmly explain how my father's medical bills are ongoing, how mother's small pension can't cover daily living. We never fully resolved it. She just dropped the subject each time, but her dissatisfaction was clear. A month ago, the issue exploded. I just finished transferring money to my parents when my fiancée spotted the transaction confirmation on my laptop screen. Her expression hardened. "You really send that amount every month?" she asked, voice climbing. "Yes," I said. "I told you from day one." She blew up, accusing me of ignoring her input. "We're about to start a life together, and you're giving away half your paycheck to them." She spat the word "them" like it was dirty. I tried explaining, "This is non-negotiable. They rely on me. It's also a sign of respect in our culture." She flared up, "We're in the US, not overseas. Stop with the culture excuse. You're throwing our savings away." My anger simmered. "They're my parents. I owe them everything." Her eyes narrowed. "And what do you owe me?" "Your future wife. Don't you owe me stability, a nice house, maybe kids' education? Why must I sacrifice for your parents?" That stung. I reminded her I was making enough for both a comfortable living and supporting my folks. She, however, insisted that half my salary was outrageous. Tension ballooned. She threatened, "If you don't cut down what you send, I'll call off the wedding." I refused to marry a man who tosses half his income to other people every month. I felt a pang of betrayal. "Other people?" I repeated. "They're my father and mother. They're family." She shrugged, showing zero empathy, eyes glinting with entitlement. "You can choose them or me, because I won't watch you sabotage our financial future." My heart pounded. She was demanding I pick between caring for my parents and our marriage. My father always said that when push comes to shove, you see a person's true colors. My mother taught me loyalty to family is everything. That night, I couldn't sleep, haunted by her ultimatum. The next morning, her attitude hadn't softened. She repeated her threat, arms folded. I stared at her, heartbreak twisting in my chest. "If that's how you see it, I guess I choose my parents. Because they never demanded me to abandon you or cut you off. You're the one forcing a choice." I remember the shock in her eyes. "Wait, you didn't just like that," she hissed. I said, "Just like that? You gave me an ultimatum. I'm answering it." She accused me of being heartless, claimed I was destroying our future. I retorted that her future apparently demanded I sever ties with the two people who raised me. She snapped, "Don't twist this. I'm not saying you can't help them. Just not so much. It's insane to give half. That's our wedding budget." I told her I'd rather live modestly and support my father's medical care than finance a fancy wedding for you. The tension soared, voices raised, until I told her calmly, "Please pack your things." She reeled back, stunned I wasn't caving. "You can't just throw me out," she spat. "But I own the condo, a small place I'd purchased with my own funds." She'd only moved in recently. My father had always warned me, don't add her name to the deed until after the wedding. A wise choice, it turns out. I insisted she leave, and she stormed off, cursing me, slamming the door. The next few days, she texted me with alternating pleas and threats. One message read, "You're making a huge mistake. We can compromise." The next said, "If you ruin this, you'll regret it. I'll tell people you're a mama's boy. Plus, you're obviously financially reckless." I read them in disbelief. Did she truly think shaming my devotion to father and mother would break me? My father, hearing the gist, told me to stand firm. My mother, quietly anxious, worried that I was losing a fiancé. But she also didn't want me to cut support. She offered to forego my help for the sake of my happiness, which broke my heart. I refused to let my mother's condition worsen for the sake of a wedding. That only stiffened my resolve. Meanwhile, my ex-fiancée, I started calling her that in my mind, as I considered the engagement done, apparently confided in her friends. Some of them reached out to me, scolding me for not caring about building a life with her. I told them the real story. She demanded I stop sending half my income to father and mother, gave me an ultimatum. If she truly loved me, she'd respect my choice to care for them. Many friends understood. Some were shocked she'd be so entitled. She tried yet another tactic, contacting father and mother directly, painting me as irrational, throwing away our relationship over an arbitrary figure. My father politely told her, "We never asked him for half. He does it out of love. You can't force him to abandon us." That outraged her. She accused them of manipulating me for money. My father ended the call, disgusted by her tone. Tension escalated when I discovered she'd told the wedding planner we're just postponing. She refused to cancel the venue reservations, believing I'd come crawling back once I realized my mistake. I marched over to the planner's office, canceled everything in person. The deposit was partially non-refundable, which stung, but father reminded me it's a small price for freedom from a toxic spouse. Meanwhile, she grew furious, howling at me by phone that I was ruining her dream wedding. I calmly repeated, "I prefer to keep father and mother in my life rather than fund your extravagance." Seeing no movement from me, she launched another wave of nastiness. She posted on social media that I was a man-child who can't stand on his own 2 feet, claiming I was so dependent on father and mother that I handed them half my salary every month. She left out their medical and living situation, painting me as immature. Some acquaintances bought her story. Others who knew the real context quietly supported me. My father told me not to stoop to an online war. I agreed. There was no point in feeding the drama. But then she ramped up with personal attacks. "He's overshadowed by his father and mother. Can't make real adult decisions," she wrote in a scathing post. My mother, deeply hurt, insisted I ignore it. I felt anger simmer. She was not just insulting me, but disrespecting my father and mother. Enough was enough. I wrote a short, factual statement. I choose to honor my parents by assisting them financially. My ex insisted I stop, giving me an ultimatum. I refused. The wedding is off. End of story. That single post clarified the truth. She attempted a retort, but it paled in comparison. Many commented in my favor, scolding her for selfishness. Meanwhile, she tried to mount a final negotiation. She texted me, "All I want is a stable future. I won't ask you to stop entirely. Just reduce it. We can marry if you limit your father's monthly help." I refused, because mother and father needed that consistent support for medication, therapy, and daily expenses. If I chipped it down, they'd struggle, and I'd live with guilt. She refused to see how her stance was purely self-serving. We had a face-to-face confrontation the next week. I needed her final signature to release me from some shared wedding-related contracts. She arrived wearing her ring, my engagement ring, and tried tearfully to hand it back. "We can fix this," she whispered. "Please, I'll accept you giving them some money, just not half." It's crazy. I stared at her ring, recalling how excited she'd been when I proposed. Now it was a hollow symbol. I'm not budging. My father has health issues, my mother no stable income. Half my salary is what I choose to give them. I'm comfortable. They're safe. Why does that bother you so much? She lashed out. Because it's not normal. We need that money for our own life, for a bigger house, for future kids. Why must your father and mother drain your resources? I choked on my fury. They're not draining me. I do it willingly. They're the reason I exist, the reason I got an education. You're stepping between me and them. That's unacceptable. She hurled the ring at me, calling me blindly loyal, pathetic. I let the ring clink onto the table, ignoring her meltdown. "We're done," I said flatly. "I'll be picking up my father from his doctor's appointment later." Have a good life. She screamed at my back as I walked away, threatening to smear me more publicly, to tell everyone I was financially reckless. I no longer cared. My father's proud nod when I got home was all the validation I needed. In the aftermath, the rumors she spread continued for a bit. She circulated the notion that I chose father and mother over her, which ironically was the exact truth, though she tried painting it as a negative. Some believed her. Others recognized it as loyalty to my parents. My father patted my shoulder, telling me I'd done right. My mother, quietly relieved, said she'd never wanted to see me forced into neglecting them for a spouse's demands. Though heartbreak smoldered within me, I felt a sense of liberation. I glimpsed the controlling, entitled side of her. I realized if she was that insistent about controlling my finances now, marriage would intensify those demands. I refused to trade my father and mother's well-being for someone who insisted I sever them from my future. We parted ways entirely, returning her belongings. She left, no tears left for me, just venom. I wished her well. Somewhere, I hoped she'd find a partner who matched her financial priorities. Time passed, and she occasionally popped up on social media, still hurling jabs about my obsession with parents. I let it slide. She tried stirring drama among mutual friends, but most recognized the real story. Over dinners, father and mother tried to console me about the broken engagement. "You'll find someone else, someone who respects your devotion," father said. "It might hurt now, but this is for the best." I nodded, grateful they never once asked me to reduce their support. They always insisted if it burdens me, they'd manage. But I never let them down. About a month later, I learned she tried to date a wealthy older man, presumably to fund her dream lifestyle. Good luck to them, I thought. She even texted me once, cryptically, "You'll regret letting me go. I was your best chance at real love." I blocked her. My father joked, "She must not understand true love is about shared values, not forcibly having a salary." We had a laugh, though a tinge of sadness lingered. Slowly, I moved forward, focusing on work, ensuring father's medical routine was stable. My mother teased that I might find a nice person who respects family. I assured her I'd take my time. The negativity from the ex-fiancée faded as people recognized her bitterness. My father, mother, and I built a stronger bond from this ordeal. They felt guilty about causing friction, but I always reminded them, "You are my family, no regrets." Reflecting on it, I see how close I came to tying the knot with someone who valued money above love. Her ultimatum forced me to pick. I chose my father and mother's well-being, my moral compass, and ended the engagement. No regrets. She discovered that manipulative threats can't break real loyalty. She lost a stable fiancé, ended up alone, and probably learned a harsh lesson about demanding control over someone's finances. Or maybe she learned nothing. Her entitlement